Hello, friend. This is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com. Today I want to talk to you about why the righteous should experience abundance in all areas of their lives. Proverbs chapter 13, verse 25 says, "The righteous eateth to the satisfying of his soul, but the belly of the wicked shall want." This is often misconstrued as, well, it just means that the righteous don't want a whole lot. They don't have any real needs. And so they have plenty and they're satisfied with the little bit they have. This isn't about lack and having only a little bit. This is about eating to the satisfying of your soul, eating until you're content. Not being content that you don't have enough to eat. Not being content with a little, not that you shouldn't be, but that there's such an abundance in their lives. They can eat to the satisfying of their soul. They can experience abundance in their life and not go without, not have lack. It's the belly of the wicked that shall want. They go without. They have lack. They have want. They never get enough. Not just because their appetites aren't satisfied, but because they go without. They materially, physically, mentally, spiritually go without the things that they want, because of their wickedness, because it drives them away from the good path of righteousness to the abundance of God in their lives. They shut out that abundance. They can't receive it. Now you may say, well, I know this person, they're righteous, they don't have an abundance, they're very poor. And I've known such people myself, but there is something that they lack, where they're not perfect in, which is their reception to abundance. They may talk about the goodness of God, but they don't really believe in it. Or they believe it's limited and only for certain people. Or even that such abundance and receiving such abundance from God, such blessings from God, would be a curse. And so that kind of person believing those things, with that error in their mindset, although doing other things right, will never receive the abundance of God in their lives because they don't believe for it. And as a matter of fact, they believe it would be detrimental to them, that it would hinder them in the walk of righteousness, which is not true at all. The only reason material blessing would hinder you is because your heart's not right. If your heart's truly right, all that material abundance is going to do is bring out more goodness from you, and you give you more ability to enact more goodness in the world, to bless more people, to do more good, to not be weary in well-doing, and to faint not. Just keep on doing more good. Where the poor can't do good, or they do very, very, very limited good, you as a righteous person who eats to the satisfying of their soul has an abundance left over to give and to bless others with. That you can bring them into the abundance of God. Let them experience the abundance of God. Let them understand His abundance, and that they too can receive it if they'll do the same things that you're doing. And I'm going to say something that is not going to please a lot of people, but it's true. There are a lot of professing Christians out there who are just lazy. They love talking up spirituality, pretending like they're following Jesus, but they're lazy. They'd rather talk about praying or even pray for hours on end because they'd rather do that than do some of the needful things they need to do, such as their work and being in their business endeavors. Meanwhile, God doesn't need you praying for 2 hours a day. Now you can do that, and that's fine if that's what you enjoy. Perfect. But so often those prayers are nothing more than vain repetitions, babbling out the same list of desires and needs and wants, and oh, help me this, and oh, help me this. Oh, this person over here has a need. Only praying the same things over and over again because you never had faith the first time you prayed about them. So you just keep going through the motions, keep wasting your time. And the reason I say wasting your time is not because prayer is a waste of time, but because vain prayer, vain repetitions that are backed by no faith, they have no confidence in God answering the prayer. They don't believe that ask and you shall receive. They don't believe that whatsoever they say they're going to have. They have no confidence in their prayers. They're just wasting air, wasting time, getting nothing accomplished. Unless you think that just wasting time praying faithless prayers is somehow good and honoring to God, it's not. Because there's no faith behind it. Do you think God's going to be more blessed and honored by a 1-minute prayer that is full of faith and confidence in God? Or the 2-hour prayer that is nothing more than doubt and unbelief and doesn't have a single second of faith in God in that entire prayer? Some of the prayers Jesus prayed were so short. Look at the Lord's Prayer. Look how short that prayer is. Even if you drag it out, it's not even a minute long. And yet you're to be constantly praying, but not those kind of prayers, not faithless prayers. Your attitude and your walk and your mindset and your belief is constant faith in God, constant belief. That's why Jesus in Mark chapter 11, verse 23 and 24, where he mentioned about if you believe and you don't doubt in your heart, you'll have whatsoever you say. But he started that whole thing out by saying, have faith in God. When you're walking in that confidence and faith in God, you don't need to draw out or act like your prayers are somehow a long self-flagellation, and that if you do it enough and it's long and drawn out enough, you use enough flowery words, then maybe God will hear you. No, Jesus said, ask and you shall receive. That simple. You have faith in God, you'll have whatsoever you say. You're not doubting, you're not wavering, you're not in unbelief. You just have faith in God, you'll have whatsoever you say. You don't need to spend hours on end thinking that this is somehow going to put things in your favor. They're already in your favor if you have faith in God. The promise in Him are yea and amen. There's not a no in there. There's not maybe. There's not wait till later. So you need to have that boldness of faith, that confidence. And if you want to pray for hours, awesome. But make sure that is faith-filled prayer. And you want to experience the abundance of God, make sure you're doing the things that God has placed and ordained in the universe that you do to receive the abundance of God. You don't curse it. You don't act like it's something negative. You don't sit around or lay around being indolent, doing quote-unquote spiritual things, while you let the things you should be doing go undone, such as work and effort. I know that's almost a curse word in a lot of professing Christians' minds. Effort, work, oh no, work's bad. But work's been there since the very beginning, when Adam was created to tend to the garden, to take care of it. So change your attitude about that and make sure your attitude is one of abundance, one of thankfulness to God that you can work, that you can have your business endeavors, that you can do these things. It's such a blessing. And that because you do and you're faithful to do them and you're faithful to walk in a true faith in God, believing and receiving from Him, you have an abundance in your life. Every step you take, every move you make is more and more abundance coming your way. And when you pray, you get answers. The answers you wanted because you prayed in faith, not doubting, not in unbelief, not questioning, or not telling yourself that you got to drag the prayer out longer to somehow make God give in to your request. He doesn't need to be convinced. He already wants your good. He already sends His blessings. You just have to receive. My friend, you deserve the abundance of God in your life. And if you don't deserve it, then simply make the changes. Change your attitude about abundance. See God's abundance and His blessing in every area of your life. Be grateful for what you do have right now and be open to receiving more. And also make sure to do the things you know you need to be doing. Even if you don't want to do them, change your attitude about that, to be grateful that you have the ability to do those things and go do them with your full effort. And my friend, you will experience the abundance of God in all areas of your life. My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.